Hey, Brett here. So I'm going to go through two poses. The first pose I'm going to do is called Blaster. Looks something like this. This is the right side. So do something like this for 5 minutes. And then there's the left side. So it's an asymmetrical pose. It looks like that. And then afterwards, we're going to do butterfly. Something like that. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully you join along with me. I'm going to do each pose for 5 minutes. All right. So here we go. Now I'll go through in a little more detail. Get to a nice tabletop position. Now, take your right foot and lift it and swing it around, around, around. Bring it up to your right hand. Get your heel at least in front of your right hand. Really, this is fine. You don't want it behind you, so you want it at least perpendicular or preferably a little bit in front. Rotate your foot, hands in front of you. Slide your toes. Point your left toes to the back and then push your left toes back, 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 back. So you should you should start to feel a nice stretch in your groin. All right. We're doing a complex compound flexibility experiment here. Alexa, 5-minute timer. So I'm going to start the timer and I'm going to start to relax into this pose. Now I sometimes use a pillow just to help myself balance, and I can sometimes get a little bit deeper. So here we go. Breathe in 4 and 8. So breathe in to a count of 4 on 1, 2, 3, 4. And then out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that pattern going. Breathe to relax. Wet noodle. Everything's relaxed. Let gravity just pull you down. And we have to put in the time. Resistance, passive resistance or tension over time. This is my good side, comparatively. When I started doing this pose a couple of years ago, my chest wasn't below my knees, and I had to stack a huge bunch of blankets in front of me to even stay in the pose for any amount of time. I love this pose. This isn't very deep. Alexa, stop. Yeah, I should have gone down far. This would have been a better stretch, but that was pretty good. Now I am going to put my right elbow under my knee so I can swing my knee around without using the muscle at all and set it down. It's after you've done this, you could easily pull a muscle, so I'm really careful. I'm also closer to 60 than 50, so I could easily pull a muscle. This is my renegade side on this pose, so let's get started. Get back into a tabletop position. By the way, after this one, you might find you want to do something like just sort of stretch your legs out, bring them in. All right, so tabletop position. Take your left foot, lift it, and swing it around to your left hand. And heel toe, push it forward. I prefer to have it a little forward. Rotate the foot externally, that's fine. Again, remember, it's how it feels, not how it looks. I'm going to bring this back a little bit. That's going to be really good. Okay. Alexa, 5-minute timer. And here we go. Now, there's an option here. You can sometimes relieve both pressure on your back and get a little bit deeper by just giving yourself a block for your head. Ooh, oh boy. That really changed. I also slid my right knee back. So in this pose, I said it was complex and it's also compound. It's we're doing two different kinds of stretches. So right here, I'm in flexion. So left side's inflection, right side is an extension. So I'm stretching the front on my right side, which means that I'm making it easier to bend backwards on my right side. You stretch your front to bend backwards, you stretch your back to bend frontwards. Oh boy, oh, I mean, so you might feel pressure on your kneecap. You get used to that. So here's the thing about pain. When you're doing these poses, you're going to be discomfort. You're going to have discomfort. You're going to have tingling, numbness sometimes. So a couple things. If pain is stabby, if you can say, I feel the pain here, back off slowly, carefully. If it's on a joint, be really careful. But if you can identify a specific point, you're probably doing something bad, back off. However, like my knee, I've got pressure on my knee. It's the whole area. I've gotten used to it, but in the beginning, it felt very discomforting. So when I started doing this pose, I would put a pillow, in addition to being on a mat, I would put a pillow under that back leg. And I don't need to do it anymore. You get used to it. Okay, that's a really crazy good stretch right there. So it's also complex. There's a lot of muscles. We're doing tendons and ligaments and muscles and multiple muscles, right? So on the back side, we've got the 3+1 or the three and the two sisters or something like that. So there's three tendons coming out, three different muscle bodies, but then one split. So you've got a total of 4 muscle bodies down here. These are all getting nicely stretched. Whew. Definitely my tight side. So this is an asymmetrical pose. There's a right side and a left side. I don't do it, and maybe I should start considering how asymmetrical I am. I should possibly consider doing this side maybe for 6 minutes and the other one for 4 minutes, so that I'll maintain. 2 to 3 minutes would probably maintain my right side, but 4 minutes, I like that pose so much. I really don't want to not do it for 5 minutes. So I'd do 4 minutes on the right side and 6 minutes on the left side. But so far, I'm just doing 5 and 5 because you know what? I'm asymmetrical, but I'm less asymmetrical. So I'm still going to get there. And honestly, on the right side, there's not much more I've got to go. I mean, there's places I could improve, but I don't really think I'm going to get much better on the right side. Um, I think I've kind of hit a plateau, but I don't. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to give myself a little bit different version of this. I'm going to do this. Okay, yeah. Uh, so a couple days ago, I was noticing what I thought was pain, but it's actually I finally had figured out the difference between pain and the reflex response. Response feels like a pain. It emanates like at least it seemed to emanate in the center of the muscle body, and so it was like it was more like a sphere, the way it manifested. So once I realized that, I was able to breathe through it. Alexa, stop. I'm staying just a little bit longer here. Okay, that's good. I could stand up longer, but there's sort of a law of diminishing return after 5 minutes. Though I would say when I'm doing the side splits, I do 10 minutes typically just because it feels good to do it that long. Ooh. So this side is definitely a little more sore. Okay, finally, butterfly. By the way, so after you stretch your muscle like that for that long, what happens is you've destabilized the muscle, so you don't really want to use it. But also, in the immediate aftermath of release, if you come back too quickly, it might spasm, so you don't want to do that. But even if you come back slowly, until the muscle gets back into the position, it can feel really weak. And so I try to not use the muscle at all. And that's so it looks a little bit weird, but I've hurt myself a couple times doing this stuff and rushing it. So I just as soon keep my body not in pain because the whole purpose of doing this is to stay out of pain. So it'd be sort of ironic if I were to cause pain doing this. Okay, I'm going to do butterfly. I'm not going to do bound butterfly, just a regular butterfly. Okay, this is a hip opener. Um, I'm going to start with the pillow to help me lean forward. I'm going to put the hips, my feet about 3.5, maybe 4 fists away. This allows me to open up here. No, actually, these haven't tried this in these pants before. Okay, that's going to work. Just okay, this will be fine. Okay, let's see. I'll go ahead and start. Now, I am not going to do too. I'm going to occasionally sort of extend my back and press. I'm not going to do a lot of